Team H believes that the purpose of college is to discover valuable lessons about yourself to prepare for life after college. To begin with, we discover what kind of learner we are through different teaching styles. First, lecture style influences the idea that a teacher is superior to a student. Sometimes this works for certain students, but for others it makes them feel as if they know absolutely nothing and are incapable of learning without a teacher. Paulo Freire says the teacher presents himself to his students as their necessary opposite. By considering their ignorance absolute, he justifies his own existence. Kahn, 178. Secondly, hands-on, learning as they go, can be helpful or stressful depending on someone's learning type. It pushes students to be actively and personally involved in their learning. Lastly, problem posing is most effective in forcing students to think for themselves and learn that they are not ignorant or inferior to teachers. Paulo Freire mentions in Pedagogy of the Oppressed that in this method, the teacher is no longer merely the one who teaches, but one who is himself taught in dialogue with the students, who in turn, while being taught, also teach. Kahn, 181.
To continue on the topic of us discovering what kind of learners we are through the teaching styles, Socrates often uses the problem-posing method with Menos and gains knowledge in his inquisitions. As a teacher, he realizes that this method is most effective for Menos and himself. Socrates believes that the knowledge we seek is already within us, it just has to be drawn out. Through questioning a slave boy who had no prior education, Socrates is able to prove to Menos that nobody is ignorant in knowledge if they are able to recollect what they have already learned. A quote from Socrates on page 23 says, "So if we are able to say that there are true opinions present in him both during the time when he is not a man, and those opinions become knowledge when roused by questioning, then his soul will ever be in the state of having learned." An example of this is when Braxton asked his father and good friend Jesse what kind of teaching style they think is best. They came up with one that was uncommon but uniquely fit to their taste. Even though the answer may not always be in front of us, we should always look into what style best fits us and how we can make the most out of classes that don't utilize our style. In this quote he says, "In my interview I asked the opinion of both men on how they best teach. Both my dad and Jesse answered with example. I think this puts me at a disadvantage because of all the philosophers we have talked and read about, none have brought this method of teaching up. I have no doubt they thought of this, but I also think it's important to view an example as the best way to show what is right."
All colleges throughout the world offer multiple majors so students aren't limited. Also, just because students start out majoring in something they thought they might like, it doesn't mean that they have to stick to it. when they discover it's not for them. For example, a quote we have reads, "I spoke to my uncle who graduated from Boise State in 2000 with a communication degree. When I asked him about his experience here, he described it as a time of finding his true self and finding what truly interested him in life. I thought that was interesting because my uncle changed his degree 3 times before deciding to get a degree in communication. Different things interested him, and he wasn't afraid to explore those different interests before finding his true love." Many universities provide hundreds of clubs or activities for students to find their passion and make new friends. The required prerequisites at college may help students find something they like and would have never taken or thought about it if it wasn't required of them. Teaches characteristics of life after college. Independence is one of the biggest changes all college students go through. They learn to live without their parents, which prepares them for self-governance that comes with adult life. Responsibility is expected with class attendance at least once a week. More than one quarter, 28% of college students fall asleep in school, 22% fall asleep doing homework, and 14% arrive late or miss school because they oversleep. Budgeting is when a student has to differentiate wants versus needs, prioritizing when to study versus when to socialize. Integrity, not cheating, keeping up your standards and personal values. Perseverance, pushing through difficult or challenging times. The quote from Jason Irvin reads, "My favorite quote my dad shared when he said, college helps create more productive citizens and those who can contribute to society. I think a lot of people struggle with communication and being active members of society. College helps people with those skills, and those skills will, in turn, help them in the future."
Stepping out of your comfort zone. Students come from all over the world to study at different universities, which offer a large mix of cultures and ethnicities. Once again, prerequisites are required by the college, and taking them allows students to discover what they like and don't like before automatically shutting it down. Professors are more open and willing to challenge students, therefore students are able to voice their opinions and obtain a response. Allie Davis said, "When interviewing my sister, I enjoy hearing her say, college gives us a chance to challenge our beliefs and values since it is so diverse. This made me super excited because I feel being in high school hasn't given me a chance to discover what I believe in or value. Most of us students find it's disrespectful and unacceptable to ask teachers their religion or political party or debate with them because that's what we are taught."
College also encourages students to work together. This can help enlighten someone's beliefs through seeing it from another's perspective. Teamwork allows students to get work done more efficiently and effectively due to the increase in resources. Most importantly, it's another way to make friends in a place with thousands of strangers. Caitlin Hanmer's dad said, "College is important for careers, but it's important to learn how to work together. Some of the most important lessons I learned going through college were the ones that weren't being taught in classes, but taught through experiences and dealings with others." All in all, the purpose of college is not necessarily to teach education, but to teach us about ourselves. With university teachings, we discover what kind of learner we are, what different activities or classes interest us, characteristics in adults and students around us that are valuable when socializing, and how to step out of our comfort zone to find out who we are. After all of this, we then are ready to take on the responsibilities of adulthood. The things taught in school and colleges are not an education, but the means to an education. Ralph Waldo Emerson.